Dear students, so today we will discuss about assignment problems. Okay, what is assignment problem? What are the different types of assignment problem, and how do we solve an assignment problem using Hungarian method? That is what we are going to study today. Okay, now what is an assignment problem? An assignment problem is a special type of transportation problem where the objective is to assign a number of resources to an equal number of activities so as to minimize the total cost or maximize the total profit of allocation. So assignment problem is a special type of transportation problem. Now if you consider a particular manufacturing unit, okay, to produce a particular product, so many jobs will be scheduled, right? For doing each job a particular machine may be required, or there are different types of machines. Okay, so if for one job, if a particular machine A is assigned, it may take a processing time of say 10 minutes, fine. So another machine B may take a processing time of 15 minutes for the same job. So which one should be assigned, A or B? That is a question. Fine. So in order to minimize the total cost, in order to minimize the total processing time, and to maximize the total profit of allocation, for all these things we do assignment problem, right? We are trying to find out what has to be allocated to which one, because efficiency of a person, efficiency of a machine, everything differs from one another. Fine. So which is more efficient, which will be more effective, and which can give a optimized result? For that we are using assignment problem. Okay, so you will understand what exactly it is once you start doing the problem. Fine. Now there are two different type of assignment problem, just like how we studied transportation problem. Again, two types. One is balanced assignment problem and another one is unbalanced assignment problem. Fine. Balanced assignment problem means here the number of rows will be equal to number of columns, and in unbalanced assignment problem number of rows is not equal to number of columns. Fine. Okay, so in order to solve an assignment problem, the method that we use is called Hungarian method. Fine. Usually we use Hungarian method for solving an assignment problem. Now in Hungarian method there are two phases for this particular method. Phase 1 is row and column reduction, and second phase is optimization of the problem. Okay, even in transportation problem we have studied the same thing. First we are finding the basic feasible solution, then we are optimizing the result, right? So here also the same process. First phase is row and column reduction. And what are the different steps? First is in row and column reduction, the first step number 1 is subtract the minimum value of each row from the entries of that particular row. Similarly, subtract minimum value of each column from entries of that column. Okay, we will discuss it in detail. And the second phase is optimization of the problem. This one is also having around 5 steps. We will discuss each step in detail once we are solving the problem. Okay, now you consider this particular question. Okay, we will discuss each and every step in detail using this particular problem. Okay, now the question is, solve the following assignment problem using Hungarian method. Matrix entries represent processing time in hours. Okay, you are given a particular matrix. This is your question. This is not the first one, is your question, that is this one. In this you are given 5 operators and 5 jobs are given. Okay, so here in this particular matrix represents processing time in hours. That means whatever entries is given inside each cell represents the processing time in hours. Okay, so let's see. In this first case, the rows are representing job and columns are representing operators. Okay. Now, how do we solve this particular problem? Now, look at the step of the Hungarian method. The first step is row and column reduction. So, step number 1, subtract the minimum value of each row from the entries of that particular row. Now, look at the first row. Okay, we are going to find out which is the minimum, row minimum. Okay, or the minimum value of each row. That is row minimum. Row minimum. Fine. So what is the row minimum in this particular first row? 9, 11, 14, 11, 7. So here 7 is the minimum value. So first row minimum is 7. Then you have second row 6, 15, 13, 13, 10. So 6 is the minimum value. So here the second row minimum is 6. 12, 13, 6, 8, 8. Here it is 6. So third row the minimum value is 6. And the fourth row the minimum value will be 9. You have 2 9s here, but 9 is the smallest value. Then 7, 12, 14, 10, 14. Here 7 is the smallest value. So for each row you have found out the minimum value, right? So you have to write row minimum with corresponding to each row. Fine. Now what is told in that step? The step says that subtract the minimum value of each row from the entries of that particular row. Okay. So 7 has to be subtracted from each and every value given in the first row. That is 9 minus 7, 11 minus 7, 14 minus 7, 11 minus 7. Okay, so you will get first was 2, 4, 7, 4, 0. Okay, 9 minus 7 is 2, 11 minus 7 is 4, 14 minus 7 is 7, 11 minus 7 is 4, and 7 minus 7 is 0. Similarly, you have to subtract 6. 6 is the minimum value. 6 from each of these cells. So after row reduction. Fine. Row reduction, the value is this. Now what is the second step? Second step in the first phase says that subtract. After doing this, subtract minimum value of each column from entries of that particular column. Similarly, here in this case, you have to find out what is your column minimum. Column minimum. Okay, column minimum value you are going to find from each column. 20620. 0 is the minimum value. 49705. 0 is the minimum value. 77017. Again 0. 47233. So here 2 is the minimum value. 04207. You have 0 is the minimum value. Okay. Now after doing this, you are doing column reduction. Similarly, just like how we did the row reduction, you have to subtract 0 from each and every element of this column. 2 minus 0, 0 minus 0, 6 minus 0, 2 minus 0, 0 minus 0. And again, here since it is 0, everything will remain the same. Only in this particular column there will be a variation. 4 minus 2 is 2, 7 minus 2, 5, 2 minus 2, 0, 3 minus 2, 1, 3 minus 2 again 1. So this will be the reduced columns. Okay, you got a different matrix now. Okay, so the first phase is over. Column reduction and row reduction is done. Okay, first phase is row and column reduction. Everything is done. Now we are going to the second phase. What does the second phase say? Optimization of the problem. Now you have to optimize the results, right? Step 1, perform row scanning and column scanning. Column scanning if required. Okay, after row scanning, if it is required only, you need to do column scanning. And by doing this, draw minimum number of lines to cover all the zeros of the matrix. Now you will be confused on what is row scanning and what is column scanning. Fine. Now let me explain what is row scanning and column scanning. Now row scanning means starting from first row, ask the following question. Is there exactly one zero in that particular row? If yes, mark a square around zero entry and draw a vertical line passing through that zero. Otherwise skip that row. It is nothing but, what is row scanning means? You take this particular matrix. Okay, now you are scanning this row. First row I am scanning. Now I find only 1 0. Right here there is only 1 0. So what I need to do? I need to draw a square around this particular 0 and I need to draw a vertical line. I have to cancel this particular column. I need to draw a vertical line passing through 0. You should remember one thing. In case of row scanning, you have to check whether there is only 1 0. When there is only 1 0, you mark a square there and draw a vertical line. It is not a horizontal line, it is a vertical line. Okay, in row scanning, it is always vertical line. So I mark that. Now again, look for the second row. Second row also there is only 1 0, correct? So I mark this one and then again I draw a vertical line. Fine. Then again I am scanning the third row. Now see, in third row I have 2 zeros. It is not just 1 0, it is 2 zeros. Right? 2 zeros, you have to skip that. Now only if there is 1 0, you have to mark a square and then draw the vertical line. Since there is 2 zeros, you have to skip this row. Then again go for the fourth row. Fourth row also there is only 1 0 because already this 0 is cancelled. Okay, so here there is only 1 0. So again draw a vertical line. Then again fifth row. Fifth row when you take, there is no 0. Just so skip that. Okay, so this much is clear to you? Fine. So after doing that, what you need to do is, the next is, you have to check whether all the zeros are marked in square. Now you know there are 2 zeros which are not marked in square, fine, or neither they are cancelled. So finally what you need to do, you require column scanning. Okay, if everything is marked and everything is cancelled, then you need not do column scanning, but still 2 zeros are left out. So definitely you should go for column scanning. And what is column scanning? Column scanning means, again just like how we did the row scanning, we have to look for columns. First column is cancelled, second column is cancelled, so you need not worry. Now look at the third column. Third column there is only 1 0, right? Only 1 0. So you have to mark a square here. And in column scanning, in row scanning we did vertical, we drew a vertical line passing through the 0. But in column scanning you have to draw a horizontal line passing through the 0. Now this is column scanning. After doing row scanning, you are doing column scanning. Mark a square and then draw a vertical line. Okay, so that is done. Now again fourth column there is no more zeros left. Fifth column is also cancelled. So column scanning is also done. Fine. So first step, that is perform row scanning and column scanning, and by doing this draw minimum number of lines to cover all the zeros of the matrix. This particular part is done. Now what is step number 2? Step number 2 says that check whether the number of squares marked is equal to the number of rows of the matrix. If yes, go to step 5, otherwise go to step 3. Okay, now how many zeros are marked here? 1, 2, 3, 4. So we have 4 zeros marked here, right? We have 4 zeros. Now how many rows are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 4 is not equal to 5. That means the number of squares is not equal to the number of rows here. Okay. So that means the condition of optimality is not met. Here step number 5. This is step number 5. Step number 5 says that treat the solution marked by squares as optimal. Now here, since this is not equal to 5, that is number of squares is not equal to number of rows, you have to move to step number 3. Okay. Now let's see what is step number 3. Step number 3 says identify the minimum value of undeleted cell values and add the minimum value to the intersection points of the present matrix and subtract the minimum undeleted cell values from all other undeleted cell values, and all other entries remain the same. This is step number 3. This is nothing but, now we have this matrix with us. We have so many rows and columns cancelled. Some 3 and 4, column number 3 and 4 is not cancelled. Okay, so we have this thing with us. Now what we need to do? There are undeleted cells 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All these cells are undeleted cell, right? Out of this undeleted cell, you have to find the minimum value. Now check for the minimum value. This is 7, this is 2, this is 7, 5, 1, 1, 7, 1. Now which is the minimum value? 1 is the minimum value, correct? 1 is the minimum value. When 1 is the minimum value, what does step 3 say? You, after finding, identify the minimum value, then you have to add that minimum value to the intersection point of the present matrix. Now what do you mean by intersection point? Now you can see that these two things are intersecting at point 6 and 7, right? There is this vertical column, this vertical lines and this horizontal line is meeting at 3 points, 6, 7, 2. Yes or no? 6, 7 and 2 are the intersection point. So step number 3 says that you have to add the minimum value to these values. That means 1 should be added to 6, 7 and 2. So when 1 is added to 6, what does that become? When 1 is added to number 6, 6 becomes 7, right? This is coming in third row and first column. 6 is in third row and first column, right? So 6 becomes 7 because 6 plus 1 is 7. Then 7 plus 1, 7 plus 1 is 8, correct? And then 2 plus 1 is 3. And where is 2 falling? 2 is falling in the third row and fifth column. Third row and fifth column, 2 will become 3. So I have to write it in my new matrix. These are the new 3 values. Now again, what is the second step? Second step says subtract the minimum undeleted cell value from all other cell values. Okay, so now what are the other undeleted cell values? 7, 2, 7, 5, 1, 1, 7, 1. These are the undeleted values. So now this is 1 is our minimum value. This minimum value have to be subtracted from all the undeleted values. So what is 1? 7 minus 1 is 7. 7 minus 1 is 6, correct? So this is 6. Then 2 minus 1 is 1. Then 7 minus 1 is again 6. Then 5 minus 1 is 4. Then which is undeleted value? 1, correct? So 1 minus 1 is 0. Here again 1 minus 1 is 0. Then 7 minus 1 is 6. Then 1 minus 1 is 0. Okay. So the second step is also satisfied. So we have added the minimum value to the point of intersection and we have subtracted the minimum value from all these undeleted cells. Now what is the third step saying? So after doing that, the third point says that all other entries will remain the same. That means all these deleted values will remain the same. So you have to just simply copy all the other values. 2, 4, 0, 9. Then you have 2, 0, 0, 5. Then this is 0, 0, 4, 0, 0 and finally 7. Okay, so this is our new matrix. I hope this is clear to you. The only step is over. Now what is the fourth step? Go to step number 1. Now when you go to step number 1 of the second phase, what is the step number 1? Again, perform row scanning and column scanning. Okay, after that you have to follow the same procedure. Now you have a new matrix, right? Again you follow the row scanning. First I follow the row scanning. So here there is one particular 0, only one 0 is there. So I mark this square, I delete this. Then again second row only 1 0 is there. Again I mark it as I draw a vertical line through the 0. Then again when I do the row scanning, there are 2 zeros, so I cannot do, so I skip that particular row. Then fourth row, when I go to the fourth row, again 3 zeros are there, so again I skip that row. Fifth row only 1 0 is there because already this 0 is deleted, so only 1 0, so again I draw a vertical line. Then after that I perform the column scanning. Again the same procedure is repeated, right? So column scanning, first column is deleted, second column there is only 1 0, so I mark that and then I mark a horizontal line, right? Okay, then I go to the third column. Third column also only 1 0, already this is deleted, so again I mark that, then I draw a horizontal line. Then fourth column is deleted, fifth column is also deleted. Now look at the number of squares. How many squares are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so there are 5 squares. 5 squares are there, is equal to number of rows, right? So here number of squares is equal to number of row, so optimality is reached. Fine. So now you have this optimal solution. So look at this. This is your optimal table, right? It has reached optimality, so this is the optimal table. Fine. Okay. Now what you need to do? Now you need to calculate the processing time, because you have to solve the assignment problem, right? So look at this particular table and we can assign the values. Now you have all the jobs. Job number 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. We have 5 jobs. So we will check how we will assign the operators. So now look at this. For the first job, this is job, okay? This is job and this is operators. Operators. So for the first job, which operator will come? Fifth operator, correct? So you have to mark the fifth operator corresponding to the first job. For the second job, first operator. For second job, it is the first operator. For third job, it is the third operator. Wherever this square is coming, that is a allocation. Fine. And then fourth job, we are allocating the second operator. And for fifth job, we are allocating the fourth operator. Fine. Now we are going to calculate what is the processing time. How do we calculate the processing time? Now we know what are the allocations. Now you come back to the question. You have to take the question. What was our question? This is our question, right? This is the initial question. Solve the following assignment problem. So this is the initial question. Fine. So for first job, fifth operator is assigned. For first job, fifth operator is assigned. So you look at the processing time. The processing time is 7. So correspondingly you have to write 7. Then for second operator, first job is assigned. Fine. So that is 6. So you have to put 6. Then for third operator, third job, third operator is assigned. For third, it is 6 again. So 6. Then for fourth operator, for fourth job, second operator is assigned. For fourth one, second. So the processing time is 9. Fine. Again, for fifth job, it is fourth operator. Fourth operator corresponding time is 10. So you have to write this. Fine. So you have all the processing time. So when you add all the processing time, you will get 38 hours. So 38 hours is the total processing time. Total processing time. Okay. Thus the problem is solved. Okay. Thank you, students.